this is Via, and I am doing a debt confession. If you've been following my videos, you know I have a medical condition going on, and I actually have some good news about it. So I did get my biopsy back, and I luckily do not have cancer. It is a giant cell tumor that has basically eaten my bones. I'm still going to need reconstruction of my thumb metacarpal, and that actually goes into my budget. As everyone knows, your budget is yours, and how you handle your debt and your savings is highly due on your personal life. So that is why that's relevant to my channel, is my medical situation, especially if you watch my last month's budget. So all of my debt currently is actually collections. I will say my debt happened, they've been in collections a while. Essentially we had job loss as well as some income inconsistency. I was a gig worker on top of a college student, as well as a retail worker slash part-time worker. And if you know anything about the gig economy, it changes pretty drastically. My rec. And I'll kind of go into this, but so the numbers you see that I'm going to be putting in my debt, keep in mind this is with a lot of added fees, not from the debt collectors, not from the people who own my debt now, but before it got moved to collections, which is kind of helpful because these PR ones, I've actually been getting letters from them. They actually do not plan to sell my debt. They're also one of the collections agencies that I delete whenever they when you pay them, and they have already been offering me about half off on my debt. So my main goal, which you'll see when I put it on here, is to pay about a little more than half of this debt, but I wanted to go ahead and show you all the current numbers so that we can reflect and see like what I do end up paying. I did use my little label printer to print out the numbers because of my hand issue. I can't really write that well without a lot of pain. If you'll watch my other videos, you can kind of see that with how funky my numbers are. So the first one is my lowest debt, which is, we'll just call it MCM, and it is currently on my credit report at $521. And then the amount I will pay, usually if it's like under 1,000, they don't really want to make deals. And with this like certain company that owns my debt, I've heard they aren't always the best with like making deals with you, so I don't mind just paying the $521. I will see if I can get it lower, but worst comes to worst, my plan is I've already like budgeted my plan into paying just what I owe on that. Let's see here. PR number 1 is $990. And I plan on paying the MCM one first and then paying all these PRs. So these are in order that I plan to pay them in. So it is $990. And I plan on paying $495. If I can get this sticker off. At least this is my like aim. This is what I aim to want to pay for it. And I'm using this minimum payment because I already have this debt tracker, and I don't technically have a minimum payment since I plan on paying these in full. And I don't, they're just in collection, so they're not doing anything. Let's see here. PR number 2 is $1,012. And then I am planning on paying $506. And granted, I may have to pay more than this, but this is just kind of my plan. And the fact that I already have a letter from this company offering me about 50%, I think even a little less than 50%, I'm pretty confident I can do that with these PR loans. Alrighty. And then PR number 3 is $1,042. I was tempted to just have these all laid out, but I didn't know if y'all, since like how a lot of people kind of go through and write these out as they're talking about them. But since I can't write them out, I decided to just have the stickers ready and just sticker them down. And I plan on paying $736. PR number 4 is actually my very highest at $2,155. And even though this is my highest, the reason I plan on paying these off before this one is I'm kind of hoping that I just kind of want to get all these off together because I kind of know how this company works. And so just to go ahead and get them off of here. And so for that, I plan on offering $1,078. And then my very, very last one is technically, I think, my second highest debt, but not my highest in the collections, which is $1,472. And then I plan on offering, let's see here. And then I planned on offering 500 and I think I actually printed out offering. No, I didn't plan on offering 521. I was planning on offering, I don't have that one labeled. Oh, whoops. That was meant to be the 736. Yeah, that didn't make any sense. I think that one was meant to be the, whoops, I put the wrong sticker. I was kind of keeping up with my stickers here, and I kind of lost track of my stickers. Whoops. Well, let's see here. Ah, that was supposed to be the 521. There we go. I think it confused me because I had 3 521s unintentionally. Well, not intentionally. That's kind of how that worked out. Oops. So what we'll be doing, I'll put them on there, but then I'll just make a mark that, so we know these are traded. Okay. And so if we add up these columns, we'll see the two totals that what I owe and then what I plan on paying. So 521 plus 990 plus 1012 plus 1042 plus 2155 plus 1472. So that is 7,192, which that's why I kind of like, I remember my debt before they went to collections, which some of these were still like kind of some of these were kind of still overdue, but I remember the number being about 4,200. So if then we divide that by, well, no, I won't divide it 2 because I plan on playing that. So, whoops, sorry, I knocked over my thing. So 521 plus 495 plus 50, whoops, not 5.6. 521 plus 495 plus 506 plus 736 plus 1078 plus 521. That equals 3,857, which is much closer to my original debt that I remember before everything went crazy. So here we go. And put that down. So this is my debt that I have. I did have a car payment, but I paid off my car in February, which I'm very proud of. I actually paid that off early. So, okay. I also have student loan debt, but I'm not putting that on here, partially because the save plan is pretty effective for me right now, and so I'm not in any rush to pay off my student debt. My student debt is about $40,000 or $45,000, one of the two. But I went to a four-year school. I did plan on trying to go to a state school. I mean, I went to a state school, but I meant to go to a community college first, and there wasn't one around. So I had to go to a four-year school all technically 5 years I went because I had to be a part-time student on and off. So this is it. This I actually planned on, funny enough, planned on knocking out 3 of these, maybe 3.5 of them. But with my, in March, that was my original plan, because I was supposed to have like $3,000 left over, maybe more, or maybe closer to $2,800. Either way, I was supposed to have a significant amount left over, and instead, I had some medical things come up, so that was not great, but I had the money to do it. I didn't go into debt for my medical situation, which, so I'm not going into debt for my medical situation. There's a reason why this is not my priority. So, as I mentioned, I had a cancer scare, and I'm still having a major health, what's considered something that's going to change my life forever. I'm going to have reconstruction surgery, and I'm going to have scans for the rest of my life, because of the type of tumor I have, which is giant cell tumor of the bone that has eaten my metacarpal. So that's why we're actually going to go on to why my debt is not the largest goal in my life, even though that was the plan for this year. Savings. Savings is the reason. So my out-of-pocket max, I have currently, I'm up to $903 out of $4,250. $4,250 is my out-of-pocket max for me, for myself, not for my family. My family out-of-pocket max is much higher, obviously, since there's 2 of us. So I still have $3,347 that I have to pay before my insurance pays for everything else. I have reconstruction surgery. I also have an MRI bill that's, I think, about this high that's coming towards me. I can't remember the exact bill, but I got the claim approval, and then the leftover is going to get me near this. But either way, this is the amount I'm still going to have to pay within this month, next month, and then probably want the full billing cycle, maybe June. So that's where my money's, all my extra money is going to be going towards that. After that, I want to save $6,600, partially so that I have my out-of-pocket max for next year, but not just for that. I think that's a good number to have for emergencies moving forward, especially health emergencies. I'm going to be out of FMLA for 12 weeks if I have a resurgence, which can happen with a certain type of tumor, and I have to have surgery again. I'm looking at disability for another amount of time. I'm looking at possibly losing my job because if I'm out of FMLA leave, which is protective leave so you can take off work without getting fired. So these are the 2 numbers I have, which adds up. So $3,347 plus $6,600. I keep hitting that. I keep hitting the decimal instead of the 0. 3,347 plus $6,600. That is $9,947. Basically nearly $10,000 I need to save, or, pay this, have this in savings before I touch my debt. Now, typically, my game plan was reverse this. Before I had a health emergency like this, I was going to have my buffer of about $2,500, and I was going to pay off my collections and then start saving to move. That, sadly, the universe decided differently, considering I had gotten my expenses down to about $2,200, we'll say. Those were my expenses. That's how much I got my down between, like, using my mobile before by paying off my car. I used my work benefit to pay for my most of my internet most months. There's just the two of us. Based on the budget, those were my needs. My paychecks with my extra withholdings I had at the time would have been about $3,560 a month. Minus that, $200. I would have had $1,360 per month to pay off this debt, roughly, each month. Obviously not each month, like I had my Mint Mobile and things like that to come out of here. So, like, some months this would be lower, but generally, I was going to throw this at debt. Whoops. And I was going to be able to pay off at least this number. Let's see, I think it was like 1,300 something. Times 3. I was going to pay off this number in basically 3 months. Now, because I'm taking, I'm going to be on FMLA for 12 weeks, and 11 of those weeks are covered by short-term disability, which is technically 60% of my paycheck, but then also FICA taxes, which is like 7.65, I believe. So closer to 50, like 53% of my paycheck after taxes. And I'm not in trouble. I'm going to be fine. But that's going to put a dip in this. And then, obviously, to feel comfortable after this, I'm going to need to save this up. But yeah, another plan that we need to do is my wife really needs dental work this year. She's put off dental work for the whole time we've been together, and her teeth need it. I've put off dental work for years, but her teeth really need it this year. And since I'm already having to spend so many expenses on medical, we're actually going to see about we're going to see how much we need to spend this year in medical to do this. But yeah, so this is my debt confession. I don't have any other active debt. I use my credit cards every month. I pay them off every paycheck that y'all see. I used to just pay them all throughout the month, like in general, but I would always pay the full amount. After this happened, we lived without using any credit cards for several years. Now I feel like we're in a place where we can use them without falling into this trap again. Since when we were using this, we were already needing the credit cards to survive, and then also for emergencies, and then when we had the biggest emergency of all, we fell into the trap. I don't feel ashamed in that. The biggest shame I feel is that it's not exactly shame. I have a lot of problems with shame. I guess the biggest problem I had with that was I had people who'd be willing to help me. I didn't need to tank my credit like this, but I felt like I was an adult. I was making adult decisions, and I was fiercely independent. And my independence cost me my credit score unneededly, since I would have totally paid those people back without my credit score being affected, or without this number ballooning. Because if I can't get these down to where I want, I'll be paying extra for me essentially being afraid to ask for help. But that's okay. Now we're in a place where I've worked really hard to be in a place where I can pay this, and I plan to pay this. But first, we're gonna take care of this. And I'm going to be setting up sinking funds this month. Or I should say, I'm going to be setting up sinking funds. I'll be fulfilling sinking funds probably after my pay, after this is paid, because once I get the bills for these, I'll be able to pay them. But I have to wait for the surgery to happen, since this surgery hasn't happened yet, and then I will need to do some other things. But thank you so much for watching. If you have a channel, feel free to comment down below. I really enjoy watching budget videos. I'm watching them for years, even before I made my own content, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your April. Bye!